Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Gal.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Spence is here.
I'm just so happy to be on this journey with you.
Good morning to you, too. And
Those
Nick,
are the good meds.
Yeah, that's it.
and Nick is on the road driving, so
On the
he's
road
not going to be with us. Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by vMix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear.
Also made possible by Electrons.
Electrons, as always, they always
Yes.
help. They
Yeah,
always
always
help.
helpful.
And they're always here. Knock on wood. We have some spare ones in case something happens. But
Yes, we have extra ones.
extra.
We laid up a supply.
Anyway,
Ionized or not ionized?
Both. Let's hope it's not too many ionized.
So Gal has been wrestling an external drive situation, and when we went on the air, he was trying to plug it into another machine directly without cable. I mean, Gal, keep us posted.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's an
update us.
M2. It's an M2 SSD drive. This isn't the one. This is one that actually works. I just took. It looks like this for
Mhm.
whoever's watching, and I have not one, but two external USB controllers to use it. I want a USB-C. I want to make it as a boot drive with an OS on it. And the drive I purchased, actually not me, it's our friend of the show, Sarid. He's probably listening now and his heart is racing because we're dealing with this for the better part of the last couple of weeks. Whenever I plug in the M2 drive, the system doesn't know what to do with it. Basically, all I'm trying to do is just erase it at this point. I now plugged it in directly to a small computer that I have. Try and move this and see. Okay, a lot of mess over here, but that's the computer.
Mm-hmm.
And that stick over here, this is the stick. Okay, so I am dealing with that right now.
You're trying to address it.
Yeah, so I see it, and I'll know in a moment if I can write a new partition table on it or not.
I was just thinking about something else, and I don't remember the last time I did it. What happens if you take a Linux formatted drive and put
It doesn't matter which system. I try both.
Okay.
So.
That's the second drive. I mean, you returned the first one, and
Right, the first one I didn't go head to head too much. I tried it on two different adapters. It didn't work on either of them. I thought, okay, the drive's dead. This is after I had issues with the adapters. So other drives are working with that. I am using with M2. There are different interfaces. Let's see if you can see it here. 2250, 2280. There's a bunch of interfaces. The different the plug will look different for different versions of the interface, but the adapters I have, they are rated for the interface that I bought. Other drives are working with those adapters, right? Whether it's a Linux machine or a Windows machine, a Linux OS or Windows OS. I'm just, I don't know. I'm just butting my head against the wall every time I'm trying something with this system. And it's not about the system, right? It's every time a different component is just giving me issue.
So what happens now with that new setup that you plugged it in? Anything different so far?
Well, not yet. I haven't.
Okay. Oh,
Keyboard is
yeah.
in a moment.
All right.
Been a pretty interesting week for malware and ransomware.
Oh yeah. Do you want to talk about it? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just brought it up. I know you have stuff queued up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it a little bit later. But first, I mean, this is from last week. In 2022, there's now a multifaceted argument in favor of a new approach to smartphone manufacturing, one which focuses on long-term support for both hardware and software. Core to this line of thinking is that smartphones hardware has hit a plateau. From the mid-range to flagships, hardware is now more than powerful enough to last several years without going obsolete. The days of rampant year-on-year improvement are long gone. Whether you're looking at bleeding edge performance, cameras, or battery life. This isn't to say we don't yearn for those yearly gains, but they no longer suddenly mark older models for obsolescence, even if they materialize. As such, modern smartphones deserve long-term software support above and beyond semi-annual security patches.
What was the old term they had when you had new versions of OS come out, and segmentation, wasn't it called that?
I don't know.
Where you would have versions of Android, for example, that would come out, and then you would have to, each new version would have to require a redo or an update for each app. So you had segmentation where if you bought a specific phone, you had to figure out what apps would actually work with it. So now it's like they've tried to fix that by having exactly what you're saying, Amnon, where you have obsolescence. You say, oh, that old hardware, you can't use it anymore. That way they don't have to maintain those apps. I have an old 5S, Apple 5S, that I'm getting to the point where almost nothing works on it anymore. Like I used to use it for Netflix and Amazon Prime. Netflix stopped working. I can't update it. There's no, it will no longer support newer versions of Netflix, and the older versions aren't supported. So I'm done. I can't use it.
Wow. Yeah, it's an interesting point. Why aren't you supporting it for, instead of a year or two, for 5 years? Phones do last.
I'm probably past the 5 years on the 5S. Probably more than I can drag out my old iPod Touch and see what works on that.
Yeah. Something that happened that Apple may need to learn a little bit. Match Group, remember we talked about it than last week that they pulled all their apps from the App Store. Because
Match.com.
what?
Match.com.
Yeah. Because of the in-app billing, whatever. It's the same problem.
Right. There's another lawsuit, right?
Well, what happened now is, yeah, it's the same lawsuit as Apple and Epic,
Epic, yeah.
but this is Match Group and Google.
Oh,
So
okay.
Match, again,
Okay.
yeah. So
I'm
Match
listening.
Group, the parent company of dating app Tinder, Hinge, and OkCupid, is getting along better with Google, just by a little bit. On Friday, Match withdrew its request for a temporary restraining order against the company, which it accuses of wielding unfair monopoly power in its mobile app marketplace. Match filed an antitrust lawsuit against the search giant earlier this month over the company's restrictions on Android in app payments, which drive app users toward remaining in its mobile ecosystem. The company filed a temporary restraining order request a day after suing Google. Match cited a handful of concessions from Google in its decision to withdraw the restraining order request, including assurances that its apps would not be rejected or deleted from the Google Play Store for providing alternative payment options. So Google say, okay, yeah, you can do it. The company will also place up to $40 million aside in an escrow account in lieu of paying fees to Google directly for Android app payments that happen outside of Google Play's payment system, arguing that those fees are illegal under federal and state law. The escrow account will remain in place while the case awaits its day in court. So if the court says, no, Google has the right to do it, that money will go to Google, the $40 million. But at this point, I mean, by Google saying, yeah, we will not remove yours, I mean, you can offer that and people can use it. Match withdrew their restraining order. The lawsuit is still in place. So but that's interesting. I mean, it looks like Google diffused the situation by what looks like giving in to Match Group to their demands. So we'll see. It's interesting though, very interesting. If Apple did that to begin with, things will be a lot.
Did I miss something? Who put the money in the escrow?
Match Group.
Match.
Yeah.
So
that's to say that if the court decide that Google has the right to monopolize, so to speak, then that money will go to Google. And
yeah, it's sort of let's call your bluff thing, right?
Well,
if I'm looking at it,
yeah, that's
you
true.
have the money, right? If you have the money, I'm going to listen to you.
Well,
show us the money.
Yeah, something.
Ah. So, Gal, what's going on?
Inside the machine, it worked. I was able to write a partition table. I'm going to try to see if now it's accessible via USB.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Interesting.
So that means it
Very
is the adapter. Or the cable. Yeah, the cable adapter.
I mean, it has to do with the adapter for sure, right?
Yeah.
But what? We'll see in a moment.
I tell you what, the adapter is one adapter in the machine. Try it with the cable, not directly. Try it with the cable to an outside USB because it's using the same adapter.
Adapter is a USB.
I know, I understand. What I'm saying is you've plugged it directly to USB directly into the machine.
Right.
If you're using the cable on the outside USB port with that M2, still will use the same adapter that's on the motherboard. If it is the adapter, then it would continue to work. You don't understand?
Sorry, I don't see.
Okay. You plugged the M2 directly into the motherboard. Into what kind of port? Uh-oh, did he freeze? I think. Yep.
And just Amnon
Oh.
froze.
Oh,
There
we
you
go.
are.
Everything stopped for a while.
Yeah, you froze on us, so it was something in the connection between you and us because I could see Spence.
Oh. Well, okay. So, what kind of a port did you plug it into the machine? What is it? Is an
USB.
USB.
Yeah.
USB, but it's built on the board.
No. Hold on.
Oh,
On the board, I have an M2 slot.
and that's where you had it in?
Yeah, that worked. But this is not the machine I'm going to work in. So
no, I understand. My point was that I thought you plugged it into USB directly into the board.
No, I know there are boards like that. No, these don't have that.
Oh, okay, never mind then. That's why it didn't sync for you. All right, well, but that means that the drive itself is good.
That means it is writable.
Yeah.
Still doesn't mean I can use it. I might still need to return it because I need something to work with. But maybe I can just switch because I have another 250 here. So I can just maybe switch with them, put this there.
Let me ask you this. How much cheaper is an M2 than an SSD 2.5
Usually
inch?
not cheaper. They're either the same or cost more. So
you using it just because of the speed?
I need it connected as I already have everything inside. I can't add another drive inside.
Okay. All right.
So adding something at the external side, a small one, will make it easier. If that doesn't work, we'll buy a USB one.
You don't.
I think USB SSD external ones will cost more, just because of the external enclosure. Here I buy the enclosure separate.
So you don't have a SATA.
I don't have a free SATA port. No.
No more ports. Well, you could. Well, no. Does it? Do you have another PCI slot that you can add another?
It's a small machine. There's no place, no room, nothing.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
So in the meantime, can you reach it and do things on it?
So via USB, Windows doesn't see it. See it uninitialized.
Wow.
So
Okay. All
must be connected directly to the board. Okay, I'll try with the other stick on, and we'll see.
Yeah. All right. So here's something that, it's sort of like we knew the day will come. Amazon is testing a service that uses the company's sprawling network of gig drivers to fetch packages from mall-based retailers and deliver them to customers. So Amazon now is being another UPS or FedEx or USPS. Hey, yeah, we'll come pick up the package you want to send, and we'll send it for you.
I mean,
nothing wrong with that. I mean,
disrupting the big guys. It's interesting.
The program, should it become a permanent part of e-commerce giant delivery options, could help Amazon expand the variety of goods that has available for fast shipment. Shoppers who want same-day quicker shipping could be shown products stocked by a local mall store. They order the items from the retailer on Amazon.com, and one of the Seattle-based company's contract drivers delivers it. The service was up and running by last year and relies on Amazon Flex drivers who use their own vehicles to deliver packages. The geographic range of the pilot is unclear, but communications with drivers reviewed by Bloomberg reference malls with participating retailers in Chandler, Arizona, Las Vegas, Nevada, and Tyson Corner in Virginia. The next thing will be they'll deliver our mail. You watch.
To me, it sounds like they're not really tackling UPS, more Uber Eats.
Not yet.
It sounds right. It sounds like that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Talking about delivery. So I do most of my bill paying, not online, but with checks, with QuickBooks. It comes out and I have everything, paperwork, paper trail of everything in the company. Last month, I got a notice from Duke Energy that my check, that my payment, I'm overdue on my payment. So I look back and I see the check. I called them and I said, here is check number this and this on this day and date was mailed. And she looked and said, okay, let's give it a few more days. So I gave it another 2 weeks.
You told them the check is in the mail?
I told them that, yeah. It still didn't get there. I got the new bill, and it had, of course, last month and this month. I went and checked on the bank, and it was never cashed. So I wrote a check for both amounts and voided the old check. The next day, I got the check back with a yellow sticker on it. No such address, cannot deliver, cannot forward. It is not written in a doctor's handwriting. It is printed on a label.
Really?
And it's the same address. I went and looked. I said, maybe they changed the address. So I looked at the one before and the one before. No, it's the same address. But nope. Can't deliver. No such address. Remind me of the Elvis song. And cannot forward. So I'm going to call them Monday and just say, hey, I've got the check back. You guys must have moved. It's a funny.
Is the address in North Carolina?
Oh yeah, it's in Charlotte. It's in Charlotte.
Yeah.
It's a PO. No, it's a PO. No, it is a PO box. They have a PO box.
I'd be surprised if some sorting equipment somewhere had a problem.
Huh? Again, if they had a problem, why did it take just a little bit over a month, like a month and 2 days?
That sounds like it's fast. I'm serious. When these things, when you hit a glitch like this, it doesn't go into the priority bin. We've had issues. We're waiting now for information to come. We're renewing our insurance policies that all hit the same time, which is convenient.
Yeah.
And we've gotten declarations about the new policy. It says your bills will follow. And the bills are due like in early June. It's like, or shouldn't we already see them? And they're said they're only mailing them on the 24th.
Wow. And they're due. Jeez.
Yeah, in June. And it's like, well, okay.
Wow.
Like, and Alan says, go to the office and make the payment.
No. The whole idea is not to have to leave and go and stand in line. And no,
Oh, lines are good for you.
Right.
Again,
been
with
told
the
that.
drugs.
A lot of our bills that we pay, like Verizon, I'm not sure
Yeah.
about the town of Apex. We do it electronically through the bank, and they have a relationship electronic funds transfer, so there is no paper.
Well, for the business, it's a good thing to keep paper.
Oh no, I agree.
So
yeah.
I do everything with the check, and
I
I'm
do
not
as well.
used to do it online. And I started paying one of my credit cards online, so it does it automatically every month. And I realized, oh geez, I didn't reconcile this card in 5-6 months because it just goes and it's fine. I mean, when I reconcile the bank statement, it's there and I deduct it and all that. But then when I go to reconcile the card, now if I try to do it, it doesn't work. So I need to go see the accountant and say, look, I'm doing something wrong, obviously. So but it's interesting that well, I still call them CPNL. That Duke Energy was flagged as not there, but yeah, it is a machine.
Maybe they
Def-
aren't there anymore. It's all along. It's been a scam, and they
Yeah.
absconded.
Amazing how things are 2 years after Trump, 3 years.
No, 2
Canada
years.
now has banned the use of Huawei and fellow Chinese tech giant ZTE's equipment in its 5G networks.
Well,
Its government has announced in a statement. It
So how
cited
much-
national. Say again?
I was going to say how much stuff is already installed.
Well, it cited national security concern for the move, saying that the suppliers could be forced to comply with extrajudicial directions from foreign governments in ways that could conflict with Canadian laws or would be detrimental to Canadian interests. Telcos will be prevented from procuring new 4G or 5G equipment from the companies by September this year. I don't understand why by September. Why not now? Hey, stop. No more. And must remove all ZTE and Huawei branded 5G equipment from their network by June 28th, 2024. Equipment must also be removed from 4G networks by the end of 2027. The government is committed to maximizing the social and economic benefits of 5G and access to telecommunications services in large, but not at the expense of security, the Canadian government wrote in its statement. So, was Trump ahead of his time?
On most things.
I mean,
look at what's coming out with the trials now. All the things that we knew 4 or 5 years ago finally being confirmed.
it's just, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, I with the 5G thing, I mean, something happened that forced the Canadian government to finally deal with it. What happened? All along it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, until it's not.
Yeah.
Something came along and made them say, gee, we better cover our asses here and pull this stuff out.
Wasn't it Canada where one of those higher up women was hiding? Where was it? Was it in Canada or was it somewhere in Europe? Remember the like vice president or something of Huawei?
Oh yeah, they had her in jail.
Yeah.
That was in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had her in like for a year.
Amazing. Amazing.
But they let her go and nothing happened.
Yep.
No.
Guile, anything?
Yeah, it's the interface. I got another stick with a different interface. Works flawlessly with the adapters, the external adapters.
Mhm.
So I'll return this one and use. And next time I'll order an older interface. So there are
Interesting.
4 different interfaces. There is 2230, 2242, 2260, and 2280.
Okay.
And it says on this one that it's a 2280.
Okay, that's fine. We believe you.
And
But which ones did you try it with?
so I had another one which is similar,
Oh no, the interface.
and I
Which
got one that I'm trying to read out of it. I'm not so
oh,
sure.
but you use different ones, right? It's not the same interface that you use, just another copy of
Right.
it. You tried.
There's something different about it.
Yep. Okay.
I'm trying to figure out what. So yeah, it has to do with the interface.
Well, that's a good thing. That's
Yeah, but at least I know what the problem
Yeah.
is.
Yep. Yep.
At least I know what the problem is.
Good. So Sarit can breathe now.
Yeah.
And where is that interface that you're talking about that you just tried it with? Is it portable?
Yeah.
And you tried it on 2 different machines?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Then you're sure. That's it.
So annoying.
Well,
Things like this, they drive me mad because
yeah. But it's fine. That's how you learn.
I need to dismantle the
You need to what?
place. It's like a mess. I need to dismantle so many things in order to figure out what the
Well,
problem is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It used
Yeah.
to be that was my hobby and I enjoyed doing it. Now it's like,
Look, it's not that I suffer from it. It's just
It's annoying.
I know this already. I just want the answer.
yeah. No, I hear you.
I'm not enjoying the route anymore.
I had a spent some time researching an issue with my phone that a couple of years ago you might think is not, why would I even care about this, or why wouldn't I remove it? Remember when it came out that iPhones store your location under frequent locations? This has been out for quite a while, and
Okay.
it was available. You could go look at it. You could turn it off too, but you could go in and look back at lots of records of where you've been. And I think there's a cutoff or the number of records the amount of time that's passed. But you could go in and look day by day by day. You were at this address for 4 hours. You were at this address for 2 hours, and I needed that information. Not needed it, but I was at a customer's location, and I didn't write down the time when I got there. So I figured, well, I'll go and I'll look at my locations. I'll say how long I've been there.
Yeah.
It only shows the day before's records. And it says 63 records are there, but I couldn't click on it to go look at prior records to the day before. And this was the day before that, so I couldn't see it. I go, what is going on here? So I went and looked it up, and sure enough, with iOS 15, Apple removed the capability of people to go in and look at the records. I said, well, wait a second. It's being held. You say it's encrypted. Right? It's there. But now you're saying the user can't see it?
Right. Only
there are people, well, they say they can't see it because it's encrypted, right? They can't read it. They said it's encrypted.
So how did you know it was a day older than?
Well, no, I found out that it says you can only look at the day, and I found hundreds of people on forums who have an issue with this. I said I wanted to go look. Some people use it for customer billing.
Mm-hmm.
As they say, I was at this location for this many hours, and that's how I bill, because I have detailed information to the minute how long I was there.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's the interesting trick. I had taken my iPad with me because I was installing a security system, and I wanted to have the directions on a larger screen that I could read as I was doing it. So I went back, let me look at my iPad. sure enough, it hadn't been moved. So the last record was, now I don't know if it's based on days or number of records, but I was able to see it, and I was able to see the times because it went there and it came back and it hasn't moved since. So really interesting
Let
issue.
me ask you this: do you have Google Maps installed on
And
your
you
iPhone?
can, yes, and that is an alternative that people mention, but there is something you have to enable in order to read the records.
It
Yeah,
used to
you
be
can.
enabled by default, but I'm
Yeah.
guessing it.
But
So my timeline on Google goes back to the first time I registered to Google. I can tell you,
Yeah.
it's an eye opener, and I don't delete it just because for me, right? It is fascinating. So
It
yeah,
is.
they know too much about me. That's true, but it is fascinating.
Oh.
Because I see
Yeah.
truth abroad, right? It's literally like the globe map with the pins,
Mhm.
right? A personal view, but like meticulously collected.
Too much
So, yeah.
information.
In a way, but it's, I mean, this is for me. Yes, Google has a copy of it and they use it for advertising. I understand that. I understand
yeah.
that completely.
Yeah.
But it is seeing it's yeah, it's creepy, but it's also fascinating.
Did you see the story? This is something that kind of, this is related to that. How the infrastructure bill that was passed actually has a mandate in there that says that all cars have to have kill switches and starting with the 2026 models.
Mm.
So what does that mean? Right? That means that number one, they're going to know where you are, because most cars have the capability with navigation systems to report. So does this mean the car now has a GPS? And what is it? Is it reporting
Who will
something?
control that kill switch? That's my question.
That's the problem. Is that
I mean, if I
hackers?
have
Yeah, I mean, hackers can do this. Rental cars have this as an add-on in a lot of cases, especially high-end rental cars, where they have these recording devices that actually show your speed and your location. And it's disclosed in the fine print of a rental agreement that we may track your vehicle. And they'll hit people with fines for speeding.
and I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
But
Oh no, I'm okay with that. But
Yeah.
this is going to be mandatory. So it was an infrastructure bill that included this, right? Infrastructure bill mandated kill switch coming to cars in 2026.
Oh, I thought you're talking about something like I have on my riding mode, that if you fall off of it, it shuts off.
Well, they say, it's to prevent drunk drivers. So if you have a person who is a habitual drunk driver, we can shut his car down. It's like, well, it means you can shut everybody's car down for whatever reason you want. You drive too much. You spend too much on fuel. You have, you
didn't wash it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's another thing.
Oh,
the
well.
people who come up with these bills, right? They don't see the problem.
No, they want this to happen. This is a way to control society. I mean, that's their ultimate goal, is to say, well, they want you to live in an urban area. I mean, it's
their ultimate goal, but I know where it's coming from, right? But I'm talking about, so the politician, right? He gives his aides the space and time to write the bill.
Yeah,
it's like, and these are usually, right, these are smart people. They hire them because they are articulate, they know how to express themselves, and they think about a lot of things, right? The whole idea of building a bill, it's never just, oh, we're gonna have a law that does ABC. It's ABC with provisions, CDE, and like with a lot of intricacy going into it. Can't they see? I mean, looking at reality today with all of the laws, amazing that we get to a point where we talk about it after it passed several scrutinies, some voting, and still the law somehow gets
Slips
realized.
fast. You know, and look at the trend now. It's like these bills will have hundreds or thousands of pages that the person who was voting for didn't read.
Yeah.
You know, it's if they actually read it, would they pass it? Yeah. So, and it's well,
Yeah.
the point of it, they call it the RIDE Act, RIDE, supposed to reduce drunk drivers.
Oh. Anyway, Spence,
Yes,
you ready for
absolutely.
specials?
Yes, sir. Let me go full screen here and blow this up. So this is the special dog mushing edition. And if you want to get off into, start off on a nice hobby for dog mushing, we have some special deals here. We've got the 2-dog package for the Glider series sled. Comes with 2 harnesses, a gang line, and the actual sled. It's only $5.89 on sale. I don't know about shipping though. Not sure how that would work. We've got an Expedition Down men's parka it's anywhere from $169.95 to $1,750. Not 100. That's $1,695 to $1,750, and then a deal on Baffin Bay Super Arctic boots for only $172. Hey, we could have a whole new sideline.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was amazed that when I talked to people up in Alaska, and it's not just Alaska, you got all all of Canada and northern US states. This is not an unusual thing. Dog mushing is either a hobby, expensive hobby, because you can't, if you like snow machining, you can turn it off and it doesn't consume fuel. But if you keep dogs, they're always consuming fuel, no matter whether they're running or not. So it's an expensive sport, more of a tradition. But it's amazing how much interest there is in this. All right. So first 2 pages are back to our traditional format. We've got Staples and Office Depot and stuff that's on sale today. And boy, I noticed, I haven't done this in a while. I noticed an increase in the prices, obvious. So I can't tie it down to percentages, but it looks like things across the board, either availability or prices have changed. So at Staples, we've got a HP 17.3-inch Core i3 laptop, which is $409, which is $190 off. We've got a 15.6-inch Lenovo Pentium processor. Now, this is an entry-level machine, but it's a Lenovo machine. It's a good machine. $279, which is $190 off. So if you need a student machine that doesn't have to do a lot of heavy-duty work, or something for the coffee table, for web browsing or whatever, this is a good deal. We also have a 17.3-inch Core i5 from Asus for $549, which is $140 off. We do have one all-in-one. It's a HP 24-inch Intel i5 for $569, which is $90 off. A lot of monitors available, and the cheapest one I could find was around $110 on the 2 sites. I'm sure you can find something cheaper than that. But we've got a HP, I got to zoom in a little bit here, 27-inch monitor for $169, save $50. We've got a desktop, an HP Slim desktop, Intel Core i3 bundle. No, I'm sorry, the bundle's on the next page. My mistake. This is HP i3 for $419, which is $80 off. Now, if you've been looking at upgrading your Wi-Fi, if you're still back prior to the AC standard, but you don't want to spend a lot of money, if you have some wired infrastructure in your house, you want to build a poor man's mesh, look at the price, Amnon, on the Archer C7 router, $49.
Yep.
This is a very good router. I have 2 of them, and I use them together with a feature that TP-Link has that lets them do dynamic fast handoff. So if you have them wired together with wired infrastructure, I have one in my bonus room on one side of the house, and I have one downstairs in the family room on the opposite side of the house. And they work together. They have the same SSID, transparent to the user. You can walk back and forth, and it automatically switches with the signal strength, which is great. So for $100, you can build yourself a poor man's mesh. But good features, good security features. I have several hard drives that are shared using these. I just figured out how to get my iPad now with Pam moving over to the iPad, and I now have the iPad accessing the file system from the router. So it works very well. I didn't realize it would be that easy to do, and I'm very happy with them. So $49.99. That's $30 off. All right, so this is for you, a 1 terabyte SSD for $179. Is that a good price? Seagate Fire CUDA. I don't know what that means, but
$200 for 1 terabyte. I think it's
$179.
yeah.
This is
I think
it's a
I think it
PCI.
needs to be, yeah, I see. It's directly to the board. I mean, I don't know what the performance is on this, right? But it's a bit on the steep side.
Okay. I didn't know if Fire CUDA implied, higher performance, high end. I assume that it did.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah,
Yeah.
it might be. I just don't know them. Don't know those. I haven't seen any Seagate NVMe's up until now, so it might be like they're trying to commandeer the market.
Well, what's happening with the whole chip misrepresentation thing? Has that all been put to
It's
sleep
still-
now? Are they?
Haven't
No,
seen
there's
anything.
still a huge shortage.
Yeah, but I mean, remember they were misrepresenting the poor
drives,
quality
the
ones by
speed,
saying
yeah.
that by not telling people that they were downgrading the manufacturing and calling it the same device for a
I
while.
don't-
Yeah, there was a
I
scandal
remember
where
they
they
were
were.
doing stuff with the physical ones, but with
Yeah.
the mechanical ones, I don't know
Yeah.
about it.
I don't know.
I haven't tracked it.
Now this is not a sale, but Microsoft Xbox Series 5 console 512 gig for $299. It's not on sale, so I don't know that this is a good deal. I didn't cross reference it anywhere.
No, the deal is that you can actually buy one.
Yeah, it is
That's a
available.
good thing then. Okay.
But
It's
call
nicely-
and find out
nicely
if they have it.
We have one per store.
Yeah.
All right. So we do have, this is the cheapest printer I could find on the Staples site. It's an HP DeskJet 4155E all-in-one. Now it's a good printer. And $124.99, not on sale. I couldn't find, well, there were a couple of printers on sale, but they tended to be high-end or color lasers. All right, Amazon Echo Show 5 Smart Display Generation 2 for $49.99, save $35. And that is at Staples. So going to Office Depot now, we have a HP 15.6-inch Ryzen 3 laptop, $379, which is $100 off. Got a Dell 27-inch monitor for $159.99, that's $70 off. We've got a Dell 15.6-inch touchscreen laptop with a Core i7, $779.99, which is $190 off. It is a touchscreen. It does have 16 gig of memory, 512 SSD. And we have a Lenovo Ideapad i3 with now 3i. This is what makes it confusing. They call it the 3i, but it has a i5 processor in it for $474.99. That's $223 off. $25 off the regular price. Got a reason I looked at this SanDisk, I don't even know if this is USB 3 or not, but a 512 or 32 gig, I'm sorry, USB flash drive for $799. It's 22 off. I just picked it up because of the sale. It was part of today's sale circular. I almost needed this keyboard on my main desktop. This is my video machine that I use. My other desktop with my i3 machine. I was there and I knocked over the coffee cup right into the keyboard. So immediately turned it over, took the batteries out, took it outside, shook it out, came inside, took it apart, completely apart, and I washed it except for the electronic components. I physically washed the keyboard and I let it dry out in the sun for a day and I put it back together and everything works great. What I like about it is that all of the keypad um, the, the membrane that's under it that actually activates it. It's so simple now. There's no electronically corruptible parts in it anymore. No more little magnetic receivers or whatever. However it works, you can't even tell how it works. But it was wonderful. I could pull the layers apart and wash them out. So I was happy. I almost needed one of these.
Nice.
This is the one. This is the one I actually have. Oh, wait a minute, is that the one I'm using now? I'm actually using the 270. It's actually in my hands now. 270. But Logitech MK270, full size keyboard and mouse combo, $23.99, which is $4 off. Here is the bundle I mentioned earlier: HP Slim Ryzen 3 with a 24-inch monitor for $469. That's $120 off. We've got a Ryzen 7 desktop from HP for $559, which is $200 off. And this is a good deal, I think, on the Logitech C920S Pro HD camera for $64.99. It's only $5 off, but it's still, that the price of this has come down. Used to sell with the craze of video conferencing. It was well over $120-something is the regular price. So now there are several versions of the 900 series. So look closely to see. There are a couple of, this is called the Pro HD. Now there is a even higher end version of this. I didn't look at that one. Western Digital external 2 terabyte drive for $64.99, $25 off. And they've got a 4 terabyte version, same My Passport, for $99.99, which is $20 off. So in both cases, go out there and buy one of these external drives, plug it in and use it. Even if you just use the basic software for backing up your files.
Yep.
You can also do manual configuration where if you want to back up, you have files, say, saved in not the documents folder and some other folder that's not recognized as a critical folder. Go out and make sure you add that folder to the backup. So we've got a SanDisk Cruiser USB 3.0 256 thumb drive for $32.99, save $37. And finally, we've got a sale printer, Epson EcoTank ET2800 all-in-one super tank printer, color printer for $229. Boy, the prices are crazy. $229, save $50. And now, finally, we get to the best part of the day. I can't believe what I see. I need this, right? Just all I do would go to Amazon and say weird tech. And this is the stuff that comes up. Some of it not so weird, but Amnon, would you like to have a automatic artificial intelligence assistive reader? How much are you willing to pay? This is $1,740.
Maybe
but what it
900.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what this is used for, they advertise it as for people who have visual impairments or people that have to do a lot of reading. You can actually use this to scan text and it will read to you. I thought that was pretty cool. Now I don't know if this is a good price, but if you have to do a lot of reading and at times you would like to just close your eyes and listen, hey, good idea, right? You can. I think with Acrobat, there are certain versions of Acrobat that you can get that will automatically read a PDF to you. But I don't know. It's got to make some decisions about what it sees. Obviously, if you have a magazine article and there's advertising on the sides of it, how do you deal with that? Right? If you have a beautiful printed page where all it is the text you want to read, that's great. What happens when you're in a mixed environment or using it on a screen, pointing it at a screen? So interesting to see how it would work. Buy one so we can test it, Amnon, okay?
Yeah.
Use that credit card you had.
Already did.
You did, okay. So we've got a, I put this here for Nick because it's a NVIDIA GeForce RTX 390 Founders Edition graphics card, $2,138. Normal price is $229, so it's $299. I guess it's the list price. $2,299. But it does come with free shipping.
Yeah.
All right. This is for people who might encounter incidents during the day that would require this. It's called Instant Underpants. Comes in a little safe storage can. You wet it and it expands into a pair of underwear. So you never have to worry. If you travel a lot and you get your luggage lost, you keep this in your briefcase, you got instant underpants, right?
But you need to wet the pants in order to
Yes.
put-
No, I realize you need to dry them out first.
Mix it with water.
I'd rather wear wet ones than dirty ones, right? So, oh well. Then we have shape-shifting fun, award-winning patented fidget cube with 36 rare earth magnets. I didn't even drill down to see how this works, but it seemed interesting. It could be fun. I mean, don't boil your credit cards on top of it. But $25, free Prime. All right, Amnon, this one is for you. This is the Zadoon meme Homunculus Lox Odonterus. plaster gypsum sculpture. That's it.
Yeah.
A sculpture piggy money bank. Only $29. This must be a thing. I don't know what it is. I've never heard of it. So apparently, this is significant to someone that they made this thing. I have no idea, but sounds cool. It's a bestseller.
This is Buddha's anteater.
That's it. I was
That's his
thinking at
spit.
first when I saw it, it was
It's his
something from
spit.
Star Wars, but I didn't recognize any of it. I thought I would know it. So,
Yeah.
All right. The next one is a pair of cool sunglasses. These are Cyclops Cyberpunk Futuristic sunglasses to make you look like a cyborg, right? Like you could be, is it Klaatu was the robot?
It'll
got
make
him,
you
Gal?
blind. It'll make you blind.
That's it. He's got. What wasn't the robot on
I don't
The
know.
Day the Earth Stood Still called Klaatu?
I don't
Because the command was Klaatu Nikto Barada.
Yeah, he had sort of a visor, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's what the robot had, that kind of weird looking visor, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. So this is all you people out there who have a problem keeping your calendars straight. It is a weekly planner called Get Shit Done with motivational quotes. I can't imagine what they would be.
motivational bathroom quotes.
Save
find
your
it
ass.
interesting.
Do this or your ass is grass, right? I don't know.
I find it interesting that this is like on the relevant page because it says 2022 and we're May now.
It's
Oh,
on sale.
uh,
That's why it's only $8.23. It's actually a paperback. This is not electronic. And I can guarantee you this next one is photoshopped because the total length of this product is 31 inches. There's no way that this is a picture of the real product.
she's real short.
Hmm. Well-
Hold on. If it's 31 inch in width,
With
No.
no, like
that'd be huge.
No, it's long. 31 long.
Yeah, inches long. Oh boy, it has several versions of this. Some were more like Italian bread. Some were, were larger loaves of bread. Just like think about decorating your home with just all your pillows were bread. $23.99.
A bagel?
Oh,
A
I
bagel?
tell you. This next one, I actually put it in my
not Photoshop. She's just small.
It must be. I guess it's possible, but it
Anyway.
looks good. I was shopping for lights for the front of my house, and it was one that I actually liked, and they showed pictures of it in use. Oh, it was Photoshop. Oh my gosh, it was twice the size of what it would normally be.
Oh,
So
boy.
it's just you look at how tall is this thing? 11 inches? There's no way. Yeah, so you gotta be careful on Amazon. Some of the stuff. So this next one, I actually have it in my cart. I'm gonna order one of these just for.
No, I'll tell you why it was. Those are 31 Chinese inches.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I didn't do the conversion. That's right. Yeah, the world is much smaller. So. This next one. I mean, this is an absolute deal for only $4.44. You can get a grower boyfriend. I thought, does it say on the back, optional grow a pair? It's like, does it have that option? Is it anatomically correct? Sorry, I didn't mean to go there. Interesting. Drop in water and it'll grow a boyfriend. All right, the next one is remember the game Hot Potato? There's this game you played where you pass it around and like when the timer stops, whoever was stuck with it had the hot potato. It was a game you played when you were kids, when we were kids. Well, this one, if you're stuck with it, it shocks you. It actually gives you a physical shock.
Oh man.
Oh boy. So that could be fun. I'd do that and not tell people what it was. Oh, we're gonna play hot potato and we'll spin the timer, we'll go off and see what happens. But interesting. $34. And finally, you know that there's a show on, it's either Amazon or Netflix, called Dr. Pimple Popper. It's actually I guess it's a dermatologist. So here you go, you can practice. It's a spot popper. It's actually a simulator for popping pimples. I don't think I would buy this. I don't know who would enjoy this, but I guess people do.
Yet you put it on the specials.
It was funny enough to put there. Yeah. So somebody must like it. If someone buys it, let us know. What do you fill it with?
Yeah, well.
Mustard? That looks like mustard. Yeah. Weird.
Anyway.
Okay. So $16.99. It's normally $18.99. And it's free one day. So they must have this in the warehouse. Close by. Unbelievable. All right. So that's it for specials for today. It's actually May 22nd, 2022. So 5/22/22.
Well, all right. Let me remind everybody, our number is 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. So on Thursday, Twitter announced a new policy for dealing with misinformation during a period of crisis, establishing new standards for gating or blocking the promotion of certain tweets if they are seen as spreading misinformation. Again, seen as spreading misinformation, who's deciding here that it's misinformation? It's like round and round in circles. It would be so nice if there was actually a way to figure out, that's misinformation. Forget about it. No. But here it's just whoever is looking at it is, all right. The Russian subsidiary of Alphabet's Google plans to file for bankruptcy, saying it had become impossible for the company to pay employees and suppliers. Google submitted a notice of intent to declare itself bankrupt, according to a message published Wednesday on Russia's Federator's registry. A Google spokesperson separately said an earlier move by authorities to seize its bank account made continuing operations in the country impossible. The Russian authorities' seizure of Russia's bank account has made it untenable for our Russia's office to function, including employing and paying Russia-based employees, paying suppliers and vendors, and meeting other financial obligations. So the Google spokesperson said that. And the company had already paused most of its commercial operations in Russia, including all advertising, after the country's communications censor accused the company's YouTube video service of spreading misinformation and stoking protesters. That is, remember what it says, the censor about YouTube. Then there was The next story goes, Russia is not planning to block Alphabet's YouTube. Even they did all that, right? The Minister for Digital Development said on Tuesday, acknowledging that such a move would likely see Russian users suffer and would therefore be avoided. Russia has blocked other foreign social media platforms, but despite months of fines and threats against YouTube for failing to delete content Moscow deemed illegal and for restricting access to some Russian media, it has stopped short of delivering a killer blow to the video hosting service. I would say, I don't understand. I mean, I do understand, but I would say if that's the case, if that's what they're saying, Google should shut YouTube off. If it's going to hurt Russia, then you take the initiative and stop. But yeah, you're not going to give them information that they are getting right now. And I guess politics have other plans. Here is something that's really weird about the way that Apple is doing things. Apple today informed developers that it's implementing a new subscription feature that will allow customers to be charged automatically when an app's subscription price goes up, which is not the way that subscriptions work at the current time. This is coming from Mac Rumors. Right now, customers must explicitly agree to a pricing change when the cost of subscription increases through an agree to new price interface. If a customer does not tap on agree when the warning comes up, their subscription is automatically canceled. But that's changing. Going forward, developers will be able to increase the price of a subscription and have it auto-renew, with customers simply being informed rather than needing to outright agree. Apple says that under specific conditions and with advanced user notice, developers can offer an auto-renewable subscription price increase without the user needing to take action and without their subscription being impacted. So price goes up.
So nice of Apple, right?
Oh yes, they're so nice. But it's ridiculous. Just it went up. I mean, I can just imagine how many. Hey, I want a refund. I don't want this anymore. They're going to be getting. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but then Apple would say, we're only processing it, right? You
Yeah.
need to get the refund from the.
You process it and then you take it from them and give it back to me because I gave it to you. No?
So now it works as it should,
Yeah.
and it has the customers back.
Right.
And now we're going to make sure that the customer doesn't get our back anymore.
Yeah. Well,
What the hell?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Some time ago, this is a continuation of an old story. Han Bing, a former database administrator for Lianjia, a Chinese real estate brokerage giant, has been sentenced to 7 years in prison for logging into corporate systems and deleting the company's data. This is coming from Bleeping Computer. Bing allegedly, not the search engine, but this guy, Han Bing, allegedly performed the act in June 2018 when he used his administrative privileges and root account to access the company's financial system and delete all stored data from 2 database servers and 2 application servers. This has resulted in the immediate crippling of large portions of the company's operations, leaving tens of thousands of its employees without salaries for an extended period and forcing a data restoration effort that cost roughly $30,000. The
I just
indirect
really wanted to know how Control A Shift Delete will look like.
The indirect damage from the disruption of the firm's business, though, were far more damaging, as the company operates thousands of offices, employs over 120,000 brokers, owns 51 subsidiaries, and its market value is estimated to be $6 billion. Went in, deleted all the data from 2 database servers and from apps. I mean,
I wanna
how
know-
dumb?
Yeah,
What?
but I want to know, what did the company do to him?
Yeah, I know. They must have
Why
done.
would he do that?
Yeah. They didn't give him the what do you call it? What do real estate agents get?
The commission?
Commission. He didn't get the commission for selling a tent. I don't know, but it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And talking about China's economy, and I was gonna send it to Nick. There was a story with the fact that last month, not one new car sold in China. In China or in Beijing. I'm not sure. I can't remember now.
Okay, Beijing, that sounds a bit, it's still wow, but
Yeah.
that's a bit more.
New car.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is this because of a shortage or because of some government mandate?
Because the
Or the price
Yeah.
became too
no,
high?
the economy
or-
is on its face over there.
I know that, didn't they use that as a way to track the Chinese economy at one time and how many certain things?
How many
were sold?
cars?
Well, no, cars and other commodities.
I
That's
don't
how
know.
they would. It was a kind of a backdoor way of looking at the Chinese economy by what things sold, and they actually published the numbers, which means that doesn't mean anything because they could be fudging them. But
I don't know.
I remember what it was. It was purchases of condos and apartments was the thing that they would track as a way to track the economy.
Well, anyway, it's not pretty.
Maybe they had a electromagnetic pulse accident.
Now,
and it
parents,
disabled all the cars.
rejoice. Researchers have linked spending more time playing video games with a boost in intelligence in children, which goes some way to contradicting the narrative that gaming is bad for young minds. This is coming from Science Alert.
What about the negative effects that you have to overcome, like
Well,
socialization and
There
other
are
stuff?
no.
They might be
it's-
geniuses, but they have no social skills.
Well, but it's boosting their intelligence. It's a positive thing.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
Look, there are positives in drinking 1 glass of red wine a day.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are positives. I mean, hell, there are positives in smoking, right? If you're not getting addicted to it. There are positives to consuming marijuana.
Yeah.
Those are all true. It's all in the measure. There
Yes,
are
yeah.
positives to eating almonds, right? But then again, too much, it'll turn to cyanide.
Yes.
They're everything in moderation. There are positives in anything, and anybody who claims there are just negative is bullshitting as well. Always try to find the moderation.
Yeah.
This is just a prime example. I don't think any of us has thought that video games are degrading in any way, but anything excessive, right, is a problem. Too much TV, problem. Not enough TV, also a problem, because then you're not informed. No,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Oh no, you're absolutely
or
right.
you're not too much reading is also a problem, right?
Yeah, bad
Have
for
you
the
ever
eyes.
seen
Yeah. Yeah.
somebody
Especially if
saying
you're driving.
books are corrupting, right? So it's all in the it's all in moderation. It's the same with dieting, right? No sugar, no fat, no everything in moderation.
Yep. Yep.
I'm not surprised.
Good.
I just
There's no pepperoni pizza diet. Eat it every day, 3 meals a day. Not good. It's the kill yourself diet.
depending on the person, that might be a good thing.
All right, Netflix.
No.
Some
What's
Netflix
that?
news. Netflix, what?
What's that?
Netflix is going live for the first time. Deadline understands that the streamer is exploring the launch of live streaming. It plans to roll out the capability, which Netflix confirmed was in the early stages of development, for its swath of unscripted shows and stand up specials. It would mean that Netflix would be able to use it for live voting for competition series and talent contests, such as its upcoming dance competition series, Dance 100, from the Circle Producer Studio, blah, 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 blah. Similarly, it could use it if it decides to bring back its Netflix is a Joke festival. The live comedy event features around 300 stand-up performances across LA, including Dave Chappelle. Many of the shows were being filmed with plans to air around 12 of them on the service. In future, it could potentially air shows live, albeit with a few seconds delay in case things get saucy. So they will make sure that they have a delay switch if something gets too bad. But they're going to do stuff live. I guess they're trying different things to gain subscribers now. Not a good time to be employed by Netflix, I would think. Too many bad news stories about them.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going.
Nobody
Haven't-
knows. We don't
Yeah.
have a
Look, this live thing. I mean, I haven't consumed live television for a long time. This live thing does coincide with them exploring showing ads, right?
well,
It'll make more sense on a live feed than anything else.
no, they
because
were
you have
saying that
people glued to the screen.
they're going to live stream.
I understand. The moment
Yeah.
you live stream, then
Yeah.
you have people glued to the screen.
Yeah.
They're not going away.
Right.
So
Oh, I see what you
throwing
mean.
an
Yeah,
ad-
that's true.
throwing an ad at their face is
Yeah.
not necessarily going to, because they want it live. The real question is, what is it? If it's just unscripted shows like reality and stuff, maybe let's see them do sports. But then the moment they'll do sports, right, the prices will rise again.
Yeah. 'Cause they have to pay those
Yeah.
associations or teams or whatever. Unless, hey, they can have a Netflix team.
I don't really understand.
The Netflix
I mean, I
league.
understand, but it's like, when is something enough,
Well,
right? Because they literally ruled the world, right? When they were this cheap alternative to mainstream media.
mhm.
They literally took everyone, right, to school. Uh, I would say they are the reason Blockbuster doesn't exist anymore,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And
You know where the last Blockbuster was? It just closed.
Alaska, no?
Yeah, North Pole, Alaska.
Yeah.
Yep.
Keep
So
going, God.
it's like they had a formula that actually worked. And
Yeah, at the
then,
time. Well, still.
yeah, but that's the thing. It's like their need to improve and grow, to me, seems what is causing them to stumble and fall right now. Because I don't see what they can offer that will be better. I don't see. It doesn't really matter if they can do 4K versus HD. It
Right.
doesn't really. There's no that is not going to bring them more people, or it's not going to bring them. Yeah, that's not going to bring more
Yeah,
people.
it's
That's not going
content. You're right.
create
It's
more
content.
interest. It has to be content,
Yeah.
and they did well with content as well. But then it's like, okay, now let's try and police the accounts that we have, right? With all of the talk about uh, fighting on account sharing, as if account sharing is the reason they're not growing.
Right.
It's the moment you are focusing on dealing with the pests or marking your users as pests more than anything, right? That is when you're going to start losing their interest.
Mm-hmm.
The moment you raise the price, the moment you start accusing them of stealing, right? If you haven't done so from the beginning and you're starting to do it now, it is only going to hurt you. It is never going to help you.
Well, that just shows you that their original uh, run up in success didn't necessarily include all of the parts of a business plan that would look at other trends in advance. You got people out there that look at years ahead in their business because they can calculate what the effects of different markets will be on their business, and they have very good people that know how to like insurance actuary tables. They can look to see what trends are going to do. But obviously, when you're riding on the success, when suddenly things start to go wrong or the numbers start to go down, you're desperately going to try to find something
Yep.
to fix.
But
So
that's the thing. They are
Yeah.
definitely desperately trying. That's what we see, right?
Yep.
it's desperation because they realize this is out of control. We don't know what to do. We hoped it would go away. It didn't. And then you've been complacent. So you start to go off into programming areas that people may not want and not successful. And yet you've dumped hundreds of millions of dollars into uh, to in-house production. And can you sustain that? Is there really a market for it? So, Netflix original is nice, and some of the things they do are great, but some of them just completely crash and burn. They spend a lot of money on it.
Any studio has some success.
Oh yeah,
No.
they say that
Such a bizarre beast.
the era of the summer blockbuster is over with studios. There are no movies that they can put out there that are necessarily going to totally capture the market and run for months and
Sequels.
months and months and
Sequels.
months.
Everything is a sequel.
Or a remake.
Remake.
not
Yeah.
just it. But definitely, there has been a complete shift in content creation and audience. A lot is going for TV first, which was remember direct to video productions. They were the lame productions. They were the trash productions, right? They were the cheap alternative. But now we have direct to streaming productions, right? They might even go to cinemas at the same time, but first of all, they're streaming. Think about this.
Yeah.
Dune, right? A major production, huge one, was very, very, very successful, even in the States, where when it opened in the States, it opened streaming and cinema in tandem. That's something we've never seen before.
Yeah.
Because it was good
streaming
content.
as successful.
Yeah, but it was good content.
Yeah.
People heard, word of mouth went out, and I went to see it. I loved it. I can't wait for the next ones. I was disappointed, disappointed is a different, not the same reason why. When it got to the end, I said, I want more now. I want to know what happens. I know what happens next. I've read the books, but I want to see what, it just got to the point. I said, oh my God, I got to wait 2 years or whatever it is for the next part of this to come out. It was that kind of anticipation, which I haven't had in a movie in a while.
Yes.
Yeah, it was that good.
Yep. All right. MasterCard is launching a controversial biometric payments program in stores as the card company tries to keep pace with bigger competitors such as Amazon. Retailers that sign up to its pilot scheme can allow customers to pay in store with a gesture, such as a smile or a wave. Talk about $1 million smile. The system, which requires customers to enroll first, could also be connected to loyalty programs and purchase history. Payments is a wide space, and we're trying to offer what customers want, says Ajay Bala, MasterCard's president of cyber and intelligence. He said that MasterCard could act as the enabler of the ecosystem, setting unified privacy and security standards for a technology that has raised the hackles of privacy and data protection. I mean, it just keeps going. Nothing in the US yet.
Yeah, well, they've never innovated in the US first. I mean, even think about it, even chips, touch.
Oh, wait.
That came, what, 10 years after?
Yeah, no. It's actually, I missed it here. The software, this is the software. The facial recognition software comes from California-based Pop ID. But they're going to do it just Asia, Middle East, and Europe to begin with. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Got it. Yeah. But interesting, just smile. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Imaging.
And what do you do if you don't want to pay? Do you gesture him? You give him the bird?
Yeah.
And say, no, I'm not going to pay it. And you're right away going to take it. No,
This is interesting because there are psychological studies that say that just smiling, right?
Yeah.
Increases certain chemicals in the body. And so it's funny that they are tying it to a smile because it's sort of a brainwash. It's like you're going to enjoy paying. And because you're going to smile every time you pay, it's going to be more fun every time you go and pay. An interesting one.
I don't know. I don't know what we're coming.
I mean, we were expecting. I mean, science fiction has been talking about payment by fingerprint or something like that for a long time. So It's not as if we didn't see this coming. I wonder what the adoption will look like, because there are certain things that technology we tried, and when they were tried, they were completely shut down um, by public not wanting to adopt it. Right? Think about Google Glass. Technology wise, amazing, right? The idea that you can have instant access to imagery that you're looking at and stuff like that, and just with a tap you got the last 10 seconds. But nobody wants a camera in their face.
Right.
So I wonder
It's
if adoption here, who
good.
will be against this adoption? If it's the people who will register to use it and they'll find it creepy, or something like that, right?
I mean, all the people all around the world that are opposing facial recognition.
Yeah, but you're
So
talking
a lot of people,
facial
countries.
Look, you have facial recognition already in
Yeah.
passport checkpoints, right? And there's a lot of things that are going into. By the way, one thing I've discovered, I created a new Facebook account, so it'll be completely disconnected from everything. And one thing I noticed is there's no facial tags anymore. Facial recognition has been shut down on Facebook. That was like one of the features, right, that they were really ecstatic about when they first introduced. And it was fun, at the beginning, it was fun being tagged in a photo, right, that a friend of you took, and it helped them to identify it. But that's the thing. It's people don't like this invasion of privacy, basically, right? And it's interesting that here, a company that makes money by charging, right, is looking into facial recognition, and they're not fearing the backlash. So
I don't know. Maybe it will defeat the drive against facial recognition. Who knows?
yeah.
Who knows? Oh. All right. Hong Kong is planning a ban on the Telegram messaging service, which is widely used by pro-democracy activists. Local media reported that the ban on Telegram was being considered as a means to crack down on rampant doxing, under which pro-democracy campaigners are exposing online sensitive personal data of government officials and citizens. Hong Kong Privacy Commissioner for Personal Data might decide in favor of blocking or restricting access to Telegram in the first such move. This is coming from the Tsingtao Daily Report paper. According to Bloomberg, the execution of such a ban would mean that the former British colony is taking a step closer to China-style smothering of personal and civil liberties. So this is amazing. These are the pro-democracy people that are doing it. And in a way, what they're doing is pushing it the other way. That's the way I read it.
I mean, sounds like a very political decision.
Oh, yeah, it is.
That we don't understand the politics.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like a good idea, shutting somebody up. But then again, shutting a complete platform because within it you have bad actors is always a problem. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. It never works either. They find a different way of doing it. Tracking, marketing, and analytics firms have been exfiltrating the email addresses of internet users from web forms prior to submission and without user consent, according to security research. Some of these firms are said to have also inadvertently grabbed passwords from these forms. In a research paper scheduled to appear at the Unix 22 security conference later this year, authors describe how they measure data handling in web forms. And really, to make a long story short, you know how sometimes you go and you want to buy something and they ask you to set up an account or to just log off, leave as a guest, or even if you just want to get some information, you put some information and you click next. That next, they already got that information that you put in the first page. Then, it may be one or two simple questions. Then you enter more information and next. Even before you do the next, it seems like, I don't know how, but it seems like they are grabbing your email address and any information that they ask for. I mean, what's wrong with doing a form that is just one page long? Just have the whole thing, so you have to scroll down. Why is it?
Wrong is you might decide not to continue when you see the next question.
Well,
but we already have your information,
Yep.
and we can at least sell your
Right.
email. to spam.
Exactly. That's the thing. Is that they're
Dark patterns. That's the name.
what?
Dark patterns.
Dark-
That is the name of this user interface design. Is tricking the user into doing something they wouldn't want to do.
Yeah. All right. That's all I got.
So that was legislation. I missed.
No, it's not. It's just a research paper that says, and they
Just
created
showing
their
that
own, so
these
they're
places
just bringing it
collect.
into light, so users will be aware that something like this is going.
Right. And this is where what you are doing and me, I don't know, Spence, whether you're doing it or not, but every single place that I register to
Mm-hmm.
gets their own email address.
Right.
Right. And you can do it with most email providers, including Gmail, and I don't know about the others, but I'm pretty sure the others do it. Well, if you add a plus sign and afterwards
Either
a word,
it could be a plus or it could be a minus. It all depends how it's structured. On Delta Force, it's a minus.
okay.
So
Okay.
you can do it either or, yeah. Not either
So
or.
test, send yourself an email with a plus sign after your name or a minus after your name and some word, and see if you receive it. If you have two email mailboxes, send from one mailbox to the other so you can see that it also happens outside the system. And this way, let's say you go to Best Buy and your name is, let's use my name. So gal@gmail.com, right? Best Buy will get gal plus bestbuy@gmail.com. So this way, I still get the email, but every time I get the email, I clearly see that it was sent to the Best Buy address.
Right.
Why do that? When spam harvesting happens, contacts are collected, email addresses are collected. You start seeing spam that you're not expecting. I'm not talking about the mail listing that a commerce place does. Those you can usually unsubscribe from.
Mm-hmm.
But when you see spam, you see something that you weren't expecting. You see a penis enlargement ad on one of these addresses, then you know that address was harvested, and you could just block that address.
Right. Correct.
Right? And you're free from it. So that is why I use use separate email addresses. I go a step beyond what Amnon does with the plus and minus. I actually have different subdomains, but that is like going a bit further. You need to control your domain. You need to buy a domain to do that, which is something I would recommend regardless, because it will free you from any service you're using. But sometimes after using email, I mean, most of our listeners here haven't been using email for a month or two. They've been using emails for a decade or two. So if not more. So changing an email address can be a problem. But if you control your domain, yes, it costs you $15 a year, but it doesn't matter which free service you're going to use. You can route it through it. So keep that in mind.
And Gal, you need to answer the next question.
The next question
in the chat.
Oh, I haven't opened chat.
John
today,
is
sorry.
asking, is there a good free password keeper?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Bitwarden. I can't recommend Bitwarden enough. The reason I recommend Bitwarden is twofold. First of all, you can use their hosted solution, which works excellently. But you can also install a self-hosted one. So you can get the whole idea of having something hosted is we have multiple devices, and we would like to have our passwords accessible on our phone. We would like our password accessible in the web browser where we're using. And one of the nice thing Bitwarden does today, it also allows you to create. It not only helps in randomizing the passwords and passphrases, it also helps in randomizing the usernames. So getting you into the habit of creating random usernames. And you can give it your email address and it will create those something plus random for the email. So it knows to do a lot of that stuff. Bitwarden is open source, which means it has public scrutiny. It has a lot of usage out there. There's some big companies that I know of that are using it, and one of the interesting aspects of it is you can host it on your own server. That might seem daunting, but if that is too much right now, then use their free service for now. Check them out. Hosting isn't too hard. It's you can do it on a Raspberry Pi at home, and it'll be accessible from anywhere in the world. And when the server is offline, you can still log into your local. It just won't get synced to your local vault, and it saves all your passwords. Once you get into the habit of using Bitwarden, you literally don't. You forget most of your passwords. You don't know them. You've never known them, but they're randomized and it's safe. So definitely.
Do you recommend? I see that they have for individuals, they have the free account. And is the premium account in your mind worth it? Because it says it supports two-factor authentication.
So here's the thing. When you want two-factor authentication, usually you don't want to store the two-factor authentication SID with your password. That is counterintuitive.
Well, wouldn't it change every time anyway?
It would change, but what happens when somebody gets a hold of your password vault? Then it has defeated two-factor authentication.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
Right. So you do one thing you can do is you use Bitwarden for your passwords, and you use two-factor authentication tool that syncs like Authy, which allows you to sync across devices. So you can have multiple devices that have the same SID, and you can use them. That makes it more convenient, but still, those are two separate systems.
My two-factor authentication is mainly made up of just putting in a PIN that I get from my phone, which is I'm completely satisfied with that, the way it works. So
I
don't need it. I just wondered if it was worth it the premium account, you have two.
So I
if you
can
have
tell
the
you
free
what you
account,
get with the premium account. You get with the premium account one thing that can be important to you, and those are attachments.
Meaning,
You can attach a file that'll be encrypted there. For example, a scan of your social security card.
Oh.
Okay. Right. But again, or if you want to actually scan the front and the back of your credit card and attach it to the credit card entry. But that I would recommend only doing on something that you self-host anyway. So the moment you start paying for you can also do that with self-hosting and pay the license and you get that. There's also an alternative. There is Bitwarden, which is an alternative Bitwarden server, which gives you everything for free. It's just not as robust as a Bitwarden self-hosted server from the original manufacturer, the original software developer. But that's the key. Bitwarden is open source. It has a fork that is completely free and lightweight. It can run on a Raspberry Pi. The version that runs on a Raspberry Pi is completely, it has all of the premium features open, right? So you get those for free. So for a home setting or personal use, you get everything that you need. If you want to test, some of the accounts, that's what I have, and some of the accounts that require two-factor authentication, I store them in Bitwarden because I want them not to be hackable from the outside, but I'm not too concerned about anybody getting access to my vault. So, yeah, those are my recommendations.
I have a question about the family version. Now it says in the free account you get 2 users, 2 collections. Now, can those 2 users share collections?
Yeah,
Like
the whole idea of a collection. So there's something called an organization, right? And so each organization has collections in them. And you can assign different users to those collections. So it's nice. I didn't know that they do the free version with organization, with sharing. That's new. It used to be only a single user. So that's what I do. I have an account for my wife, and I have account. My wife has an account. My son has account. I have separate organizations where my nephews, they have accounts. And so this way I can share a password with them, let's say to a gaming site, right? And the moment I change it, when they sync, they get the change. Or but the moment they change it, when it syncs, we get the change. You can share that entry. So it works very well.
Well, I've been looking to, I still use the free version of LastPass, and now I want to set up something for Pam, and this is what I want to do now. I'm going to switch to Bitwarden and switch myself
Okay.
over from LastPass and get her onto Bitwarden so that we can share passwords. Because now,
I was a paying customer of LastPass for probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 years. When I found Bitwarden, I made the switch, and I haven't looked back. And I can tell you one thing is it is easy as pie to export LastPass into Bitwarden. It's literally an export and an import, and everything is there.
I just looked at I went to the help screen and I found it.
Yeah.
All right. Told me how to do it. Yeah.
It works. There were some quirks with some Unicode characters because of Hebrew and stuff, but other than that, it was fine.
I need to clean up my LastPass anyway because I have multiple instances that were created for some reason.
Gal,
some of the logins.
It is bitwarden.com, correct?
Yeah, bitwarden.com.
Okay.
That's the root.
And
also look for a GitHub project called Bitwarden.
Okay, good. And
that's for the self-hosted server you can run on a phone.
And in very short few words, how easy it is for a non-techie person to use on daily basis.
Very.
Okay.
Very. My wife uses it. My son uses it. Not only that, is when they're looking at a friend that's typing in the same password for, I don't know, for their banking and their email,
geez,
right? They immediately see the problem.
Yeah.
Right. They immediately see the problem, and so it's easy. It's very easy.
So there you go, John. Bitwarden. All right, guys. That's it for today. Anything else anybody wants to add here? No?
Nope.
Going once? Sold.
I don't want to talk to you.
All right. Well, thanks, Gal. And thanks, Spence. And Nick, if you're listening, keep driving carefully. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie and Dana, Dina, Arlette and Micha, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov and Yael. Thank you, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Update your virus scanner. Back up your hard drive. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. And remember, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., Nick is on Wilmington's 980 The Wave and 107.9 FM with his daily news show. You can listen to it anywhere, just telling your Echo device to play 980 The Wave. Or you can go to nickcraig.com and listen to previous recording. And Tuesday, 7 p.m., 7 to 8, Nick and Brian do the Infection podcast on Twitch. And this is a program for survival games and gaming news. So Tuesday evening, 7 p.m., twitch.tv/Infection podcast. And we'll see everybody next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.